So we have the FBI Deputy Director of National Intelligence caught on hidden camera by James O'Keefe saying some very interesting things about the Epstein case. He has subsequently deleted all of his social media, LinkedIn and everything else. I understand it. I don't understand, guys. I don't understand how you have these people with elite, top level clearance, and you throw a hot girl in front of them who starts asking questions, and all of a sudden they forget that they should not be talking about this stuff at all. It's like, dude, you're the Deputy Director of National Intelligence. Maybe Epstein, your opinion should not just be given to strangers if it is going to be anything other than the official story coming out of whoever's in charge at the time. So we'll look at that. But also we're going to look at this because I'm just going to be honest, guys. I have no idea what Trump is doing right now. I don't know what he's doing. Okay. This is a statement that he put out related to what's going on with the Epstein files. And here's what I'm going to say, right? Like, no one would ever accuse Trump of knowing that, or not knowing, no one would ever accuse him of being surgical about how he addresses problem solving. Okay. Like, he's very consistent. Like, the dude is a hammer, right? He hammers nails, right? And so, like, every once in a while, he'll hammer a nail that someone is like, oof, like, I like when he's hammering the nails I don't like. And then that, like that, he didn't necessarily need to hammer that one, but, nobody's perfect. You take the bad with the good. And, I think we come out on a positive note with him. But this Epstein thing, it's like, okay, guy, this is no. Okay, like, I understand people are criticizing you because you're flip-flopping and now suddenly acting like this Epstein thing is like not a big deal. But what you did right here, this is bananas. Like, this statement, I'm like, this is not going to work. Like, it's not going to work at all. But before I just start going off about a story I haven't even read to you yet, let's just actually read it. Oh, and this dude, again, we're going to get back to this is the guy who, the director of counterterrorism at National Security Council for the White House and deputy director of the national security for the FBI, caught on hidden camera. So we're going to look at that afterwards. All right, but let's do this first. All right, so this is what Trump said about the Epstein case. And then I just want to read you guys a couple things also. By the way, if you don't follow me on X, why don't you change that right now? My handle is RealJesseOnFire. That is the same on Instagram. Instagram, I'm very active. Do you want to see what's going on behind the scenes in my life? That's what Instagram's for, okay? I do stories like my wife, my kids, jujitsu, all kinds of stuff, dude. Real Jesse on Fire on both Instagram and X. Anyway, and by the way, you should also subscribe to the channel and like this video. So here's what Trump wrote. What's going on with my boys and in some cases gals? They're all going after Attorney General Pam Bondi, who is doing a fantastic job. We're on one team, MAGA, and I don't like what's happening. We have a perfect administration, the talk of the world, and, quote, selfish people are trying to hurt it all over a guy who never dies, Jeffrey Epstein. Let me ask you guys a question. Did Trump just say that Jeffrey Epstein's alive? Did he just say that he's alive? Because someone clearly has read Trump in on something, right? Like, it seems to me. Like, something has changed, right? Trump's tune has changed. And then right there, he says, the guy never dies, Jeffrey Epstein. What did I say from the very beginning of this? I'm like, he probably walked right out of the prison. If I had to bet, I don't even think he's dead. You give the masses the two options, right? Did he kill himself or did he get killed? And they never think of the most obvious answer, which is that he's just walked out. Okay? If you have that amount of leverage, you can move the pillars of power across the world. You think that you can't pull off just getting some guy out of prison, even if they have the amount of attention that they have? You think it's the first time they faked somebody's death? Hey, why don't you ask Kenneth Lay about that, dude? You think Kenneth Lay really died of a heart attack right before he was about to get sent to prison when he was best friends with the Bushes and the Cheneys for the last 500 years? The CEO, the founder of Enron? You're telling me he died. Show me that body, dude. Okay? Faking deaths is not even complicated. It's not even hard. I could pull it off. Okay? All you need is a coroner who's in your pocket. One person. And in the case of Epstein, maybe a couple people at the jail who probably get a little bit depressed in a couple months, and then you close that loop also. But no one cares about a prison guard who eats a bullet, So not very challenging to pull this off. Okay? Anyway, but I do think that Trump just tipped his hand right there. Guy who never dies, Jeffrey Epstein. For years, it's Epstein over and over again. Why are we giving publicity to files written by Obama, crooked Hillary, Comey, Brennan, and losers and criminals of the Biden administration who conned the world with the Russia hoax, 51 intelligence agents, the laptop from hell, and more? They created the Epstein files, just like they created the fake Hillary Clinton, Christopher Steele dossier that they used on me. And now my so-called friends are playing right into their hands. What on earth is he doing here, dude? Why didn't these radical left lunatics release the Epstein files? If there was anything in there that could have hurt the MAGA movement, I agree. I agree with him there. Why didn't they use it? They haven't even given up on the John F. Kennedy, Martin Luther King, no matter how much success we have, security border, yada, yada, yada. Okay, bottom line. Then he starts talking about other stuff and how they're doing a great job, whatever, which I don't necessarily disagree with. Obviously, I have like some critique of how the immigration stuff is being implemented, but overall, obviously, I think the right guy is in office. Okay, but like this whole thing is a total 180 flip flop, obviously, and it happened very recently. Okay, like all of a sudden. You know, like you think Pam Bondi is doing anything related to Epstein, one of the most prolific, like, you know, intelligence agents ever? You think she's doing that without Trump's blessing? You know, she's like, oh yeah, come get the binders, guys, and then do this and this is like she's obviously doing that with his blessing, and then suddenly, just like that, it's all shut down completely. Nope, nothing's going on here. And Trump's like, the guy never dies. Why are we even talking about this guy? It's like something changed, right? Something changed. Again, and I want to stress this again. I don't think they have dirt on him. I don't believe that's what this is. I really don't. I don't think there's anything that he would like, because again, if you understand his personality, which I believe that I do, you understand he's not going to fold to that type of pressure. The way that you get him to do this is you need to put him on the inside of some man-to-man shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing that I respect most in the most brilliant strategists in the world is their ability to recognize the approach that's going to be effective with the person that they are targeting or interacting with. Okay. Because you absolutely do not do the same thing with everyone if you want to be like a grandmaster of human chess, right? Like I said, Trump is a hammer, one of the greatest hammers of all time. He is the president of the United States. He's one of the greatest men that's ever lived. And I bet that sounds like poison acid in your mouth if you're a hater, but that's a fact, okay? A year ago today, the guy got shot in the face, shot in the ear, almost got his head blown off, and he stood up on afterwards and pumped his fist, dude. Like, the guy only knows how to fight. Okay, he's not going to back down to anybody. So if somebody brings something to him, they're all, hey, we know what you did here, guy. He didn't fold to any of that, okay? Throughout the last 4 years where they went from, here, we're going to kick him off social media, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, to like, oh, we're actually going to file criminal charges against him. Like, we're going to play so dirty. We're going to turn the entire apparatus of the justice system against him in the most corrupt fashion possible. And he still didn't fold. He still didn't fold. And you're telling me that like someone brought something here and they're like, hey man, we know what you did. Like, look here's a grainy video of you with some unnamed girl that blah, blah, blah. Like, you think he's going to fold to that even if it was real? Fuck no. He's going to tell them to go fuck themselves and he's going to go on offense. He's a hammer. That's the only thing he does. So if you want him to do this, you bring him in and you say, look, Mr. President, this is the reality of this situation. This guy is a deep cover asset that we have been leveraging in ways that are above the pay grade of basically everyone on earth, except for you and me and these people. You have like the head of Mossad and the head of the CIA or whatever, whoever was doing, running these operations. And they're like, and I just want to make clear why he has been so valuable. And then you start reading him in on some of the leverage that you have on different world leaders or different business magnates and whose strings they can pull. And so you're like, look, to make this clear, the reason we're protecting these people is not because we have any kind of respect or loyalty to these scumbags, okay? This dude, Epstein, was a means to an end. Our job is protecting the American people, and they're like, and ours is protecting Israel, and we are in collaboration, and this was our single greatest influence tool that we've had over the last 20 years. And so, yeah, obviously, he's a sick fuck. Okay, I don't want to go hang out with him or like him hang out with my family, but he's a means to an end. These people are evil anyway. A person who's going to partake in that are evil anyway. We are just leveraging this guy to get compromising information on them so that we can control them. It's as simple as that. And if you want to know whether he got killed or he did it to himself, he's neither. You know, here's a fucking FaceTime with him, dude. Hey, Donnie, remember me? You know, they knew each other. They were buddies before, you know, Epstein took a run at a girl at Mar-a-Lago and then Trump, you know, banned him for life or whatever. So, like, that is way more likely to me what's going on. Like, way more likely that is why Trump's flip-flopped. But this whole thing is not going to work, dude. Like, this approach is not going to work. Everyone has limits to their leadership and social capital. You only have so much to use, okay? Because you don't use that when you're communicating something popular to the group, right? You spend your capital when you're communicating something unpopular, and you're basically leveraging the loyalty and the faith that you have gained from your group so that they'll take on the opinion that you're trying to give them or whatever, you know? It's like perfect example would be like with me, I assume that the majority of people who watch my channel can tell, like, I never say something that I don't actually believe, right? Like, if I'm looking at something, it's, you know, time to time, there are things that I think and I don't say, okay? So I'll omit something for one reason or another, not to be dishonest, but just because I'm like, I don't want to say that. But I never say something that I don't mean, ever. I'm not going to give an opinion that is not my own, because I want my viewers to have faith that the things that I say are what I actually believe. I think authenticity is the most valuable thing that you can have in the business that I'm in. As it relates to Trump, though, like, he has tremendous political capital and you know, faith from his base, but not enough for this. No one has enough for this, dude. That just like, oh, hey guys, yeah, just don't believe your eyes and your ears on the Epstein thing. It's like, this is all just fabricated and made up by Obama and Comey and Hillary Clinton. You're like, dude, whatever you think you're doing, I promise you, the outcome is not what you think. The outcome is literally you're just going like this, and your trust level that you have, like your base has, is just going down. That's all that's happening. No one is being convinced by this unless they are a fucking moron. Okay, like, look at this guys. Look at this dude right here. I knew we could trust on. Listen to this. I knew we could trust Donald Trump. Everybody was mad at Pam Bondi and even accusing Donald Trump of things, but the truth finally comes out. The list is made by Obama, so it cannot be trusted. We cannot release a list made by Obama, and nobody even cares about Jeffrey Epstein. It's like, bruh, what are you talking about? And no offense, Brad Faciti, like, I'm not trying to blow you up. That's just a level of faith I'm not comfortable giving literally anyone on earth, okay? If my own dad was in the position that Trump is in, and he told me that what he just said about it, I'd be like, okay, this is a stupid conversation. I already know too much about this. You're not just going to what are you talking about? There's no one I would believe who said what Trump said. Okay. Now, moving along though. So this is the FBI Deputy Senior National FBI Deputy Senior National Intelligence Officer confesses law enforcement turned a blind eye to Jeffrey Epstein. That's a good look. Let's listen to it.
I'm with FBI. This is a show.
Small coincidence, but I've been watching the Epstein documentary.
Oh, yeah.
Whoops. Let's continue.
Mess, like, you can see where law enforcement kind of either turn a blind eye or like miss things.
You've seen the news that Deputy Director Dan Bongino of the FBI is going to resign. Breaking news here at OMG, we've obtained audio of a current FBI agent. This is Deputy Senior National Intelligence Officer Rami Hassan of the FBI saying it is a, quote, shit show.
I'm with FBI. This is a shit show. I do a lot of kind of countering white supremacy thing. Although the last 2.5 years, I was at the White House. Yeah, and then kind of got moved back after with the new administration coming in. But yeah,
Small coincidence, but I've been watching.
First of all, so far, this guy's actually handling this really well. He didn't take a side politically, which he can't. Like, I mean, he shouldn't. And what he said thus far is not as bad as these normally are.
The Epstein documentary.
They were trying to trying to release some of the files, like the White House sources.
Oh yeah, no, it looks kind of messy.
Oh yeah, it's just messy. Like, because they even invited some of like the the influencers and like right-wing bloggers and to release the files. It's like, that seems a little weird. Just release it online.
Hassan confesses that law enforcement at the FBI.
I agree with him. That was weird. Stupid. Embarrassing. Especially if you didn't have anything new. Like, the facade of the government being all-knowing is very important, okay? Like, if you all of a sudden just pull the veil and everybody finds out you're all just a bunch of fucking incompetent dimwits, okay? Well, what does that do for your ability to, like, kind of control the masses? Probably not very, not a very positive development, for your guys' effort.
FBI, quote, turned a blind eye and, quote, missed things regarding the Jeffrey Epstein case.
You can see where law enforcement kind of either turn a blind eye or like miss things, and there's opportunities just from like hearing and listening.
You don't think something happened to him?
But I think he just killed himself. I mean, even the FBI came out and said he killed himself. I'm like, oh, okay. Not big on the conspiracy theories.
We're calling the series.
Okay, first of all, unless this guy said a lot of other stuff, I'm clearing him on this in terms of like, because I just went off on how these guys, how they get caught up in these jackpots, but I did it before watching it, and I'm actually going to edit it. I'll put it at the end because it's funny. But in this one case, this is one guy who got caught on hidden camera that I don't even think he's going to get disciplined. I mean, not if they're handling this honestly within the FBI or in the administration. He should not be sanctioned for this at all. He didn't do anything wrong. Nothing. He was and you could hear, I can hear him consciously being very careful. Like, this is how these conversations are supposed to go. Okay. Now, the fact that he's the deputy director of national intelligence for the FBI is even more reason for me to be like, okay, he handled that well because he probably knows a lot more than he's saying. And all he said was publicly available information. Like, you can see where law enforcement probably turned a blind eye. Yeah. You think that's some big admission? Every person in the fucking world knows that. That's why Trump saying this is ludicrous. Everyone knows that. This is not new information. He's not divulging any sources or methods. He's not giving up any internal stuff. He's not giving up anything that's classified. Nothing. He did nothing wrong. He handled this really, really well, actually. I love shitting on these guys that get caught on hidden cameras. This is fucking hilarious. It's hilarious. They're such idiots, dude. Like, they're such morons. It's the funniest thing ever. Because specifically why it's funny is because, like, how does the trick work? Like, why does the trick work that gets him talking? It's the most rudimentary, idiotic trap for people to get caught in ever, and it just works all the time, which is they just throw vagina in their face. They're like, hey, guess what, dude? This might be your lucky day, if you start talking. And they're like, oh my God, I forgot about my clearance level. I just want to tell you that Pfizer did actually partake in gain-of-function research. And also, yes, we did. The CIA, we covertly, created this entire thing with Alex Jones specifically to bankrupt and destroy him. And yeah, we did that. You're like, you just say this on a first date, dude? And the other guy that just came out, the guy's like, that worked, Homeland or I can't remember, whatever, but the most recent guy where he was like, gosh, he's like, Indians are the worst. He's like the most racist dude ever. But then is talking about how Trumpers are the worst people ever because it's a culture of white supremacy. You're all, guy, I literally just heard you say that like 3 different specific nationalities were the worst. You think I've ever said something like that? Ever? Okay? Never. I've literally never said that. Like, never. I will say that specific group of those people, whoever we're talking about, are stupid assholes that you can't trust. But I'm talking about those people. Okay? I don't say things like Indians are the worst, like that guy said. You know what I mean? And like, why? It's like, well, because they thought it was going to increase the likelihood that they were going to have sex with their date. You're all, clearly this is why they're on the dating apps and not married to a quality girl, because they obviously don't know anything about closing women if they thought that just suddenly just divulging a bunch of secrets or, exposing their personality defects on the first date is like a good way to go, especially if you are, and again, in this guy's case, I'm defending him. The FBI deputy senior national intelligence officer. Okay, like if he would have been talking, like, bro, you get so much more capital by not talking. You tell him what you do, tell the girl what you do, and then you act a little cagey. You're like, look, I mean, I can't talk about that, And it's like, oh my God, mysterious. Hey, because everybody knows that women are never attracted to mysterious, powerful men who are charming and don't talk about themselves very much. No girls like that. Ask them questions. Then give them relevant, short story about yourself that only is being told so that you validate that you understand what they were trying to communicate. Just validation, pump them up. Ask them another question. When they ask you questions, you give them partial answers, stay mysterious, and you smash, okay? And smile, confidently, especially if you're the Deputy Senior National Intelligence Officer. You should be smashing on the daily, specifically by not telling them things. Listen, if I'm critiquing this like him not blowing it like his, like for his job or whatever. I would have to hear the rest of the night to tell you whether or not he did well trying to smash. But, yeah, I wasn't expecting that. I was not expecting to defend him, but that's what I got. So, all right. So let's see Ghislaine Maxwell get let free and then just tell us that Ghislaine Maxwell did nothing wrong the next day, Trump, because everyone's going to believe it. I love you guys. Bye-bye.